Welcome to the unapologetic, unfiltered mashup of madness where debates get heated, comments get reckless, and couples air it all out in therapy. From everything's debatable to the comments section and couples therapy, we're mixing the wildest moments, the realest takes, and the funniest chaos you've ever seen. If it's controversial, hilarious, or just plain outrageous, we're putting it on blast. Buckle up. This is Updascomediagroup.
Show. We start with Kash Patel sounding the alarm on the Federal Reserve. This is what he had to say.
I think we got to educate people that the Federal Reserve is not a public government entity. It's a private entity owned by the robber barons that started this country, who manipulate the currency to their advantage. And that needs to be tackled. Again, I'm not the economic guru. I just know it's a problem. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the solution is, but it needs to be addressed.
Let's go to the comment section for reactions.
It is just crazy. They are the ones that can literally print money. It's called fractional banking. The money has no value until we work to pay it back. Tax dollars literally go to buy multi-million-dollar yachts for the rich, to the tune of $1 trillion a year.
He is 100% correct. This is why we are slaves to the rich elite Zionist oligarchs. The American people, both Democrats and Republicans, need to wake the F up.
Give the word. I have my own rifle, and we can clean this crap up real quick.
Have you heard the theory of the Titanic and the Federal Reserve? Well, here it goes. So on the Titanic, there's some extremely wealthy passengers like J.P. Morgan, John Rockefeller, and the Rothschilds. But then you have Jacob Astor, the wealthiest man in the world at the time. He owned about 40% of all mortgages, and he was a Freemason who was very opposed to the idea of a central bank. Whereas J.P. Morgan, Rockefeller, and Rothschild strongly supported the idea of a central bank. So Jacob Astor was the only one standing in the way of a central bank at the time. Coincidentally, the morning the Titanic was supposed to set sail, J.P. Morgan, some Rothschilds, and others quietly exited the ship without any explanation. 5 days later, Titanic slams into an iceberg and it starts to sink. And even though Jacob Astor is the wealthiest man in the world, he still can't find a seat in a lifeboat, and he ends up sinking with the ship. Shortly after, these guys become the wealthiest men in the world, and without Jacob Astor standing in their way, the next year in 1913, on Jekyll Island in Georgia, the Federal Reserve Act was signed into law, paving the way to print money out of thin air and completely control our monetary system. Was this a coincidence or a conspiracy?
I feel like a lot of people would sleep with their partner in the same bedroom, but it's kind of hard to wrap my mind on separate bedrooms because I think getting used to that, it will probably always be that way, you know?
My thoughts on that would be, it depends on how long you've been together. I think in the beginning, everything is new, but when you're with somebody probably like 15, 20 plus years and such, I don't think that it says anything about your relationship. It's just that you guys have been together so long all the time that sometimes you just want your space. I don't think it says anything about whether your love for a person or you're tired of a person. It's just, you're together a lot, especially if you're together a lot, then, separate beds, separate rooms. But I don't know about all night though. That hits different. You know what I'm saying?
Next, in a Facebook group about romantic relationships, a woman named Sabanda posted, "A man who loves you would never put his eggplant emoji in your mouth. Don't know how or why someone is putting an eggplant emoji in anyone's mouth." But let's go to the comment section for more.
It's okay. I'll shove it down there myself.
No? If he loves you, he won't make you. I love it in my mouth, though.
I'm going to put it in there, then suck his soul out of his body. Because if he loves me, then he shows how much he loves me every day. So I'm going suck his soul out.
Well, that was quite inappropriate. Now that we all know what the eggplant emoji means, let's move on to our next post. World Star reported that Tory Lanez was viciously attacked only days after Meg Thee Stallion's lawyer team reached out for newly discovered info about his innocence. Conspiracy theories are running wild. Let's check the comment section for the scuttlebutt.
It's common sense he got hit by them because this is coming out. Meg's record label can't have her caught up in this, so get rid of the other person. This is see-through. Shit like this just don't happen to a guy with a bag in the joint.
We provide legal document prep for inmates, motions, sentence reductions, appeals, and more. No overpriced attorneys, no empty promises, just real help from a certified paralegal who knows how to navigate the system. If they're ready to fight, we're ready to work.
What I wanted to ask you was, do you feel that after 39 years, or at any point in a marriage where the wife files for divorce, do you think that it's really over? I do. I think that once the woman, and my wife says, no, well, Cardi B, well, Cardi B is Cardi B, you know. I just personally think that, well, maybe I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I personally think that it's over then. Even if she's checked out. She's definitely checked out of the marriage. If she decides to stay with you after filing for divorce, I don't think that her heart will actually be in it as much as it was before.
What if I told you Black America has been conditioned to fear the very thing that could heal us? In 1920, psychologists traumatized a child named Little Albert. They paired the sight of a white rabbit with loud, terrifying noises. Eventually, Albert feared anything white and fluffy. Now imagine the trauma of slavery, violence, and lies. Imagine the white man using the Bible as a whip. What did we learn to fear? God, truth, or the freedom that faith brings when we know who we really are? My People Perish is a spiritual and historical wake-up call. We're not cursed, we've been conditioned, but we don't have to stay that way. Order your copy today.
So rapper Birdman claims Toni Braxton finessed him for millions. Allegedly, she pushed for marriage with no prenuptial only to file for divorce 2 weeks later, taking millions in the settlement. Let's check the comment section for reactions.
He should have told her to put some respect on his name.
My ancestral mother said he used every hole for 18 years. I'm the only woman I know out to hundreds whose back door is sacred. My ancestors have spoken.
Fake news. According to our sources, Toni Braxton and Birdman were secretly married in August 2024, and Braxton filed for divorce just 2 weeks later. However, she dismissed the divorce petition in January 2025, according to TMZ, and Birdman also signed off on the dismissal. While they may have reconciled, their current relationship status is unclear, as they haven't publicly commented on it. And this, people, is why you don't trust everything you see on the internet. In other news, on Facebook, Father Michael Flieger made a post saying, "So Trump brings in 5,000 white Afrikaans from South Africa and is opening up an investigation as to whether the city is hiring too many blacks. You can't make up this stuff." Let's go to the comment section for reactions.
Well, it is illegal to hire because of just race, though, right? If any other city hired just because a person is white, well, that would be racist too, right? And they should be investigated as well. Michael, would you please stop trying to start stuff with us black folks, please? Please? And to call people who like how Trump is running this country twisted should never come out of a Democrat's mouth. I would be ashamed to call myself a Democrat right now. It says a lot about character. I hate to have to go here with a priest, but my righteous God inside of me won't let me be quiet.
Candy, read Project 2025. If you're not wealthy and white, you don't count. This is a quid pro quo. He's making nice with enemies of foreign countries to advance his wealth, causing a security risk.
Jacqueline Trump is already wealthy. He doing things that ain't never been done before. So if something ain't never been done, then how you listening to people that already think they know the outcome? Answer is they do not know. Trump's main agenda is to make the lives better for everyone in this country. So get that Project 2025 back to the Democrats who made all that stuff up.
The White House is currently the nut house, except there's nothing funny about it.
Ladies, a man offers you $500,000 for sex, but you're in a relationship. What are you doing? Here are some responses from the comments section.
Buying my man the truck of his dreams and down payment on a house.
Most these females would do it for a blunt and a compliment. Just keeping it a buck.
No money is worth a relationship I have with my man.
That's cap.
Take the money, don't tell him, build a better life for myself.
Just trifling.
I've never met a man that I love more than money. Hand it here.
In the Sarcastic Girl Facebook group, it was asked, what's the worst response to a cop asking, do you know why I pulled you over? This should be good.
Have several ideas, but let us go with yours.
Yes, but it's what you didn't pull me over for that's going to make things interesting.
You smelled the Krispy Kremes in the back seat? Or was it the blood on the bumper?
If you don't know why you pulled me over, how would I know?
Now, let's give a warm round of applause for the always funny Clifford Fritz.
I've been trying to eat healthy. I really have. You hit 40, your body start negotiating with death every time you order a burger. Like my stomach had a full-on intervention the other day. I took one bite of fried chicken, and my pancreas was like, you sure about this, Chief? I bought a salad the other day, $14 for a bowl of leaves and trauma. You know how angry you gotta be to eat kale? That's not food. That's yard clippings. And then you got people on Instagram talking about self-care. They always got candles lit and jazz playing. Like they ain't got credit card debt. You can't self-care your way out of poverty, fam. You ever try to meditate with the light bill on your back? Can't do yoga when your phone buzzing with final notice. Relationships at this age are different too. You get in your 30s and 40s and love starts sounding like a business merger. Okay, I got emotional baggage. You got student loans. Let's combine them and see if we qualify for a house. I asked this woman what she was looking for in a man. She said, consistency. I said, like, showing up every day? She said, no, like emotional consistency. Oh, what the hell is that? I'm a grown man. I got bills, back pain, and an unresolved beef with my father. You get what you get. And yo, kids today, these little hyper-emotional iPad babies? No, thank you. We used to get yelled at and be fine. Now you raise your voice, and a 6-year-old starts talking about boundaries. Man, I miss the 90s. We had cereal with cartoon characters on cocaine, music videos with storylines, and nobody gave a damn about your feelings. We just cried into our Nintendo and kept it moving. All right, y'all, I gotta go stretch before I sit down, 'cause my knees are hating me.
You decide that you're going to hook up with a woman. She comes in, and she's already uglier than a mud fence, right? And then, as you start to engage, you find out, hey, this dudette is a dude, and look what he really looks like. Yeah, he looks like he should have been in a Scarface movie someplace, I don't know. This is what's happening. People think they're getting this, and many times they're getting a really bad guy. So this is the before and after, you know. When you find them in the bar at night, you know, you try to drink them pretty, and you wake up the next morning and you see this, yeah, that's what we call Rolex ugly. Rolex ugly is you wake up the next morning and they're laying on your arm and your Rolex is there and you just chew your arm off and leave the Rolex. You just got to get out of there. You don't care about the Rolex.
So do black men appreciate black women enough? In my household, absolutely. My husband is phenomenal and he appreciates all the women in his life. And I see that in him. But not everyone is him. And, you know, I have seen instances where, you know, there's a few things that I feel like are extremely disrespectful to black women, any woman. And that, you know, one is abuse, but the other is infidelity. And I have seen both from black women, from black men to black women. And it's the highest form of disrespect, abuse, and then also infidelity. So I've seen that and I don't understand it, to be honest, but I know that can be in any community. That's not only isolated to the black community, that's any community or any women can be impacted by this, and it just sucks. At least you could do is expect respect and loyalty in your relationships. And if you're no longer in it to win it, fine. Respect someone enough to be like, hey, listen, I think this isn't working. And I think that's where I have seen that black men don't necessarily appreciate black women enough.
Let's clear this up right now. Christianity did not come from Europe. Jesus wasn't blonde and blue-eyed. He was born in the Middle East, raised in Africa, protected by Ethiopians, the first Christian nations, Ethiopia and Nubia, the earliest translations of the Bible, written in Africa. So when they say, that's the white man's religion, tell them the white man hijacked the plane. We were already on board. My People Perish gives you the real history, backed by scripture, scholars, and receipts. It's time we reconnect with the truth that was always ours.
The House narrowly passed President Donald Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill in a vote early Thursday morning. Let's check the comments section for reactions.
Big, beautiful bill for billionaires. That's what it means.
I read it and I am delightfully surprised. This is an actual bill for us, the working class. I have to admit this is an eye-opener for sure.
For all of you that keep saying this is going to make the rich richer, tell me when was the last time you saw a rich person work overtime or for tips? This helps hardworking people keep more of their hard-earned money. More money for the people, less money for the federal government. That's it.
Yeah, this beautiful bill he is calling mentions nothing he promised. MAGA fell for his bull once again.
I'm old, but my whole life I have noticed when the rich people were doing good, so was I.
Send in the next applicant. Name.
Dr. Grevenstein, PhD in bone elongation and shadow extraction.
Okay. You're applying for the torture chamber role?
Yeah, look, I have blueprints. This one pulls the spleen without breaking the skin.
Jeez, this is for a family-friendly haunted house, not Guantanamo.
I can dial it down. Maybe just mild spinal dislocation.
Thank you, doctor. We'll call if we ever open a medieval war crime exhibit. Next! Name.
Haha! I am Hans! Hi! Sorry, I laugh when I'm excited.
You're here for the maniacal laugh roll?
Yes, watch this.
That actually gave me acid reflux. Do you ever stop laughing?
I stopped once at my aunt's funeral. Then I started again during the eulogy.
Right. We'll be in touch, or we won't. Next! Name.
Just call me the man, with a capital D and a pass.
You're applying for the jump scare position?
Yeah, but I don't jump. I appear like a text from your ex at 2 a.m.
Okay, let's role play. I'm a customer. Scare me.
You ever loaned your cousin money, and that mother lover posted new shoes the next day?
Okay, that hit a little too close.
Exactly.
You know what? Take a business card. Not for this job, just stay in touch. Next! Name.
You can call me Freedom.
Uh-huh. Applying for the Karen possession spirit?
I don't do no Karen. I scare people by showing them tax brackets and student loans.
Says here you punched a mime on your last job.
That freak was mocking my freedom of silence.
Okay, we'll file your resume under federal watch list. Next, before he bites me. Name.
Crystal Dawn, like the meth and the detergent.
Position?
Swamp Witch. I got the look and the voice. Y'all better run. I already cursed your baby daddy.
Wow, that was uncomfortably convincing.
I come with my own fog machine. It's a busted humidifier and menthols. And my ankle monitor only goes off on Wednesdays.
Name.
Miss V, no more, no less.
You applied for haunted tour narrator?
In this house, silence screams. And the mirrors. Remember your lies.
Okay, that was damn. That was good.
I don't scare. I haunt. There's a difference.
You're hired. Well, 1 hire, 4 restraining orders, and a permanent psychic scar. We're done here!
Top 10 songs. The top 10 songs for you to you know what to. This is top 10 songs for you to you know what to. Okay? And I'm going to give them, and I know people are going to have a problem, and I'm going to tell you something. The Isley Brothers could actually be the entire top 10, to be honest. That's it. Or if not the Isley Brothers, R. Kelly. And people are going to take issue with me saying R. Kelly, whatever. I don't want to, everything's debatable, but I don't want to hear it. No, it's just, he sung some songs, they were nice. And as a matter of fact, he's #1 on my list, Honey Love. Honey Love is #1 on my list of the songs you know what, you know what to. The second one is by Leah, Rock the Boat. Love that song. To me, that's one of her greatest songs she ever made. #3, I got the Isley Brothers on here. Between the Sheets by the Isley Brothers. #4, I got Janet Jackson's Anytime. Anytime, you know how it go. 5th, I got Break It Down by Tevin Campbell. You remember that one? Some of y'all probably don't even know what these, like, what are you talking about? I'm actually getting, indicating my age here. But yeah, Tevin Campbell, Break It Down. I don't want nobody else to hear the sound. Okay, 6, I got Usher's Nice and Slow. You know you gotta have that on there. 7, R. Kelly again, 12 play. 8, I actually got R. Kelly on there the 3rd time with his remix for Bump and Grind. I don't know if anyone remembers the Chocolate City remix. You probably don't remember that. Chocolate City remix. I mentioned it to my wife. She's like, what are you talking about? You don't remember that? Yeah, Chocolate City remix, Bump and Grind. #9, my wife said that this did not belong there and I should probably take this one off. But it's Belle Biv DeVoe's Something in Your Eye. And maybe it's just nostalgic for me. I don't know. And lastly, intro, Come Inside. If you let me come inside, I'll keep. Y'all didn't know I had them skills. But yeah, that's about it for right now. I do want to thank you again for watching Everything's Debatable.
Should Black churches do more for communities financially? I'm gonna take. Now, I'm not sure I'm the best person to ask that question, and here's why. So, I didn't necessarily grow up in the Black church. My mother, she's Latino. I didn't grow up in my father's household at all. And, my biggest experiences with church was through Catholic organizations, which was very diverse, the church that we went to. And then Pentecostal, which was primarily Latino, a Latino church. And I will say that within the Pentecostal church, I don't recall seeing a lot of community outreach. You know, we went to church, read the Bible, sang hymns, and I don't recall a lot of. So within the Pentecostal church, and maybe it was just the church we were going to, I just don't recall a lot of community outreach. And here's what I mean by that. Within the Catholic organizations that, you know, one in particular, like we would go weekly because it was Tuesday or Thursday, they had a food pantry, which was actually very important for us as a household because my mom was a single mom and we really needed that supplement for our groceries. So, you know, the Catholic Church really did, I saw more outreach with them. And again, you know, it's situational. That's just the way that I grew up. But, you know, they were more attuned with the community and the community's needs. Like, we'd go weekly, and please don't tell me that big block of cheese wasn't amazing, because we would get them, and they were great. And then also, just in my experience within the foster care system, it was from a Catholic organization where I have had or been given my best chances for success in life. No, I'm not rich, but my life could have been a whole lot worse. And had it not been for that Catholic organization, I don't know who I'd be right now or today. So in general, I do think that, you know, Black churches could do better for communities. You know, you hear about these stories, like, I don't know enough about this to say, but, you know, the recent thing was, you know, Marvin Sapp, you know, closing his doors, telling his ushers to close the door. He's like, y'all not leaving until I get $40,000. $40,000 for what? That's a lot from a community, especially in today's economy. Like I also saw a documentary within the last 6 weeks ago. It's like a documentary series where, you know, there's a pastor of a church. He's riding around in Mercedes and wearing LV and gold change worth a lot of money, gets robbed on live TV. And all that money that he was pulling in from his congregation was going into his pockets. None of it was going back to the community that actually needed it. And if I remember correctly from that documentary, like, a woman lost her home because he was convincing her to, you know, mortgage her home and investments and then give it to the church. I mean, I understand that that's not what church really is, but we do hear these stories that make it very concerning. And, you know, probably not the best person to ask because I would say, a problem with organized religion, because some organizations, they mislead their parishioners when it comes to politics. You know, they're driving Mercedes while the community's driving beat up Hondas. I just don't buy into that. Unfortunately, I do understand that church is a business that has to run, but they should see that reflect back to the community and to those most in need.
So, today we are starting with the trial of rapper Diddy, also known as the Diddler. From all accounts, the husband of singer Cassie was seen running from the courtroom. We don't know why, but there is speculation. Let's go to the comments section for more.
Bro soul did the Cabbage Patch right up out his body, yo. He ain't know all that, son. That was in her past life. You don't get the whole story.
He not going far. I'm sure Cassie done put some moves on him she picked up from those freak-offs.
When he heard the escort say Cassie asked me to pee on her, he was done.
I thought he had to leave the courtroom because it was the defense turn to take the podium, and this would be a conflict of issue because they were going to speak about her husband writing the diddler a threatening letter for their statement. But let y'all tell it.
So you telling me Diddy gave her the 30 million and she still testified? Sheesh.
People perish for lack of knowledge. Ain't no salvation in silence. We was kings to the system, rewrote the text.
My people perish, they blind in the spirit. They chase the smoke, but they never gon' hear it. Chains on their mind, got them moving in fear. Whole generation with trauma in the mirror. Preaching that real, they call it a menace. Trying to repent, but they stuck in a sentence. Bible in hand, but they never gon' read. We the lost tribe, still dying in the streets. My people perish, they blind in the spirit. They chase the smoke, but they never gon' hear it. Chains on their mind, got them moving in fear. Whole generation with trauma in the mirror. Preaching that real, they call it a menace. Trying to repent, but they stuck in a sentence. Bible in hand, but they never gon' read. We the lost tribe, still dying in the streets. Read that David Walker, then that turn to flame, but they turn the page, now we stuck in the game. Got a cross on your neck, but no light in your lane. They taught us shame, and we baptized in pain. Ethiopia roots, but they whitewashed Jesus. Fed us lies, got rich on deceivers. Told us God was a slave on his mask. Now the devil in Dior with a college class. We ain't cursed, we just lost in a static. Swapping scriptures for TikTok and habits. We don't own land, but we flex in the fabric. Lost our name, now we call that tragic. My people perish, they blind in the spirit. They chase the smoke, but they never gon' hear it. Chains on their mind, got them moving in fear. Whole generation with trauma in the mirror. Preaching that real, they call it a menace. Trying to repent, but they stuck in a sentence. Bible in hand, but they never gon' read. We the lost tribe, still dying in the streets. My people perish, they blind in the spirit. They chase the smoke, but they never gon' hear it. Chains on their mind, got them moving in fear. Whole generation with trauma in the mirror. Preaching that real, they call it a menace. Trying to repent, but they stuck in a sentence. Bible in hand, but they never gon' read. We the lost tribe, still dying in the streets. Who taught you God ain't for black sons? Who told your prayers ain't worth none? They burn books, now we scroll screens. 1 million views, but no dreams. Systematic, prophetic. We still Moses in the desert, but they treat us like felons while they worship white relics. I seen grandma speaking tongues while the block spoke with guns. One preaching peace, one preaching funds. Both trying to save sons from the slums.
You don't perish cause God failed. You perish cause you forgot who you are. Pick up that sword, the word ain't weak. It's war.
Let's see. Are black men facing an identity crisis? I'll say this again, not in my household, but some, yes. I think that as we progress as a culture and we make strides in success, there may be like a balancing act in how we grew up versus what we come into. So for example, and this could be for men or women, I was reading an article about a very influential, amazing woman. I don't want to say her name, but you know, she came from very humble beginnings, and as she progressed and to higher education and all these doors opened up to her through this education, she felt herself trying to figure out her place in society while coming from this, but now having all of these doors open. So I think that it would be very easy to have an identity crisis as we progress as a culture.
President Trump is the most un-American president that I think that we've ever had. And I say that for a number of reasons. For one, you know, the country is built on certain rights that you're given as a citizen. And in our Declaration of Independence, we say that all human beings have those rights. They're God-given, and no one can infringe upon them or should be able to infringe upon them. But when people exercise their freedom of speech or exercise other rights, and it didn't, and Trump did not agree with those sentiments of those people, then he didn't feel, he felt that it was okay to actually criminalize or demean and attack those people for their views. And that's just not something that is patriotic or American. Not only that, but he incited a riot. And that's a fact. Like, I don't know how people have that misconstrued, but he definitely did incite a riot. And I think that that's a danger that we run into, that we may run an issue where he will not want to leave office. And it's almost as if he's a leader of a cult. And no disrespect to the people, I understand you know, it's just like, sports. People become fanatics. That's, the root of the word fan is a fanatic. People become fanatics about people, and I'm sure that a lot of people respect him. They, admire his views. They agree with his views or whatever. But no, I say it's definitely a no. Again, everything's debatable. I've been watching these team competitive game shows and things like that, and it's something that I've noticed between the winning team and the losing teams. The winning teams usually have a leadership with established roles, and the leadership listens to all the members of their team or their organization. I can say that. They listen to the members of their team, and there are defined roles, and each person is okay with being held accountable in their role, right? On the losing teams, there seems to always be a power struggle, and the members of the team often their roles are confused, and so there's a power struggle and roles are confused. And the leader, and most occasions, the leader is a dictator or wants to be a dictator. They just want to tell people what to do, and they just listen to it. They don't listen to the team. Everything just has to be their way. It's either their way or no way. The other thing that I've noticed, the difference between the teams, the winning team and the losing team, the winning team is unified in their mission. They're unified. When on the losing team, there are individual goals. So even if, say for instance, if they're all trying to win a championship or win this game, the team members will have individual goals, meaning that they have individual motivations. They're not motivated by the same things, right? The third thing that I've noticed is that the winning team seems to always encourage and uplift the team members, and there's always a positive attitude. On the losing team, they get discouraged, they want to quit, and they have a negative attitude, right? And this led me to think of, I don't know if I made this term up myself or something that I read somewhere. It's called the negative syndrome. The negative syndrome, right? The negative syndrome is when negative actions combined with negative behavior creates negative people. And another way of saying that is one bad apple ruins the whole bunch, right? This is why good players, if you've ever noticed in teams, NFL, NBA, wherever, teams, if they have a good player that has a bad attitude, they call them a locker room cancer. And it is best to have that team member or teammate removed from the team, because what it will do is bring down the morale of the members of the team. So all in all, a successful organization has to have good leadership that listens, that's not a dictator. Other people who have defined roles, who are okay with being held accountable in those roles. They have to be unified in their mission. You cannot have different individual goals on the team. Everyone has to be unified in their mission, and you must keep a positive attitude, because if not, the negative syndrome will spread and bring everyone down.
Clouds spiral, incense of the grind. Fingers spark wisdom, twisted up fine. Ash falls slow like the sands of time. Each drag a prayer, seeking the divine. Smoke prayers rising, tangle with my plea. Whisper to the heavens, set my spirit free. Through the haze I'm asking, can you see me? Lost in the far, where the light might be. I eyes, red moon.